And I am admitting.
Okay, music, camera, lights, action.
Those are constant devotion. Yes. How did this tradition
count?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so happy to see you all. We're playing a little Fiddler on the Roof. So if you want to dance, a little scandal,
louder.
You can do that.
And what God expects him to do.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, there's Tina. Oh my God, I love your chef's outfit.
Hey,
everyone go into gallery view and you're gonna see all the loving people. Scroll through the slides. We got lots of great people here. And we got Sissy spotlighted, and Sissy's gonna dance with me, right, Sissy?
Of course.
I can't really hear
Laura's
the
music. Laura's dancing.
My light keeps falling too, but I'm dancing with the light. Oh yeah, I'm dancing by myself with all of you, and I'm welcoming you all now. Everyone find the chat as we're waiting for everyone to come in, and tell me in the chat, everyone make sure you can see the chat, where are you baking from? Oh, look at Melissa Prober loves you, Sissy, from Chicago.
Oh my God, how does she know my family?
Tina's baking from Mill Valley, Burlingame, Colorado, Oakland, Concord, Oceanside, Vallejo. A lot of Bay Area people in the house. I know there's some international guests. Sonoma, San Francisco. We've got Rena from Philly, yes. Aileen from Montclair. And we got Zach from Ohio baking. Where else do our bakers from? Joyce from Marin Sawyer. I'm not hearing the music very much. I don't know if we can up that. Where else are our bakers? Hawaii. Oh, Lily, that's right. My favorite word ever is shaloha. Oh, Bloom is coming to say hi. No, she's not coming to say hi. Okay, we have Sylvia from Hawaii. Oh, you want to come say hi? Okay, Bluma is gonna say hi. This is my baking partner. Wait a second.
Hi, Blooms.
Say hi. Do you see Aunt Tina there? Wait a second. There's Tina in her fabulous hat.
And festival badge, because this is a big festival event. Let's be clear. I got a backstage pass here.
Awesome. Sorry, you got to pin Tina. Do you have her on there? Okay, everyone, we have somebody from Montreal. Wonderful. You have someone, Jackson, Wyoming. Lots of beautiful snow. Ruth, thank you. We're so glad you're here. Oh, Melissa wants to tell Sissy that she's Michelle and Dick Croman's daughter, and they're on Zoom too.
I can see Michelle now.
Okay, and Patty from Mill Valley. Now, I'm going to ask you a second question as we're waiting for everyone to come in. How are you feeling today? We've been baking together since the beginning of the pandemic. We've gone through such, a lot of people in the waiting room. A lot of people in the waiting room, Sawyer. If you can let them in. We've asked a lot of people how they're feeling, and we've gone through so much together during the pandemic. So I want to ask you, how are you feeling on this day, 2021? We've been in the pandemic almost a full year now. We have been through a lot together. And if you can tell me in the chat, how are you feeling today on this challah baking morning? How are you feeling? Awesome, great, hopeful. Susan's feeling hopeful. Joan's craving some comfort food. Yes, Gabby is feeling hopeful. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Zach's hungry, I'm hungry too. Tina's grateful for this community. Melissa's excited. Roberta Monroe, oh my gosh, we have to find Roberta. So it's a real colliding of events here because Roberta programmed my very first film at the Sundance Film Festival. And this week is also, it's not only the Jewish Federation's Festival of Philanthropy, it's the Sundance Film Festival. Hello, Roberta, how are you today? Sorry, do you have a spotlight?
Yep.
Did you find me?
Gorgeous, how are you?
Oh, I am. Hi, Sawyer.
Hi.
I am. I'm good. I feel, I think most of us, I feel super stoked. Like they keep saying, President Biden, President Biden,
yes.
President Biden. The president has said, Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Wait, hey, sir, I'm not seeing her when I'm in speaker view. Are other people seeing Roberta also? You are, huh? I might be seeing a different view. Okay, I see you little, but
You
yes,
see me a
it's
little?
I see you little, but everyone else sees you big, the way you should be seen. Now, Roberta, I'm so happy. Roberta's a master baker. She lives in LA, and she's an amazing filmmaker. And I'm so glad you're here. And
I'm so glad
let's see if we have. Do we have Livy from Italy? Is
Yeah,
Livy in the house? Do we have a hand
Where's my
raised?
Livy?
Where is she? Do we have our Italian baker goddess in the house?
I'm not seeing her.
She might be
Oh,
sleeping.
wait, oh, wait, Ken's here. Wait, Ken, come over and say good morning. You know a lot of people here.
Hello.
This is my fabulous husband, Ken.
Hey everybody.
And we just celebrated our 24-year anniversary of when we met.
Yes.
Oh, and there's Rosie.
There's our doggy.
That's Rosie. You see
Yeah.
Sissy.
Oh, hey,
Roberta
Sissy,
Monroe,
Roberta. Oh my
Tina,
God.
Laura
Hi,
Lauder.
Tina.
Laura, is Gary
Laura.
there? Is Gary there? Go get Gary. Schoolmate here. And then some new people you're meeting. That's Alexander Lurie. Oh, whoa, Rosie.
Hi. Excellent. What a great crowd you got here.
Wait, Alexander,
Excellent.
introduce your girlfriend there. Wait, where'd you go? Oh, I missed you.
Danielle.
Hey, Sawyer.
Hi, Danielle. Hi, Gary.
Hey,
That's
Ken.
Gary right there.
Gary, how you doing? You haven't changed a bit.
Well, my hair color has, but the fact that I have it, it means I don't complain.
Excellent. We're so
All right.
happy you're all here. We got 111 people, and people are just coming in, and we're just
Wow. All right.
we're just
Excellent.
about. And you know, look at Ken's wearing happens to be wearing his Sundance shirt because it's also the Sundance Film Festival this week.
All right.
Which
Great,
you can all zoom into also. We'll send the link in the chat. And just a reminder, Jenny's from Michigan, from our team. She's going to put in the chat how to make sure to get the follow-up email where we're going to put links to everything we discussed today, all the wonderful books and sugar alternatives and festivals. Gary, do you want to tell us about your sugar alternative you're using today? Just while you're here. Oh, you're on mute. Wait a second.
What's your sugar alternative? I need that.
Wait, unmute. Okay.
Okay, Gary, talk about the sugar
Oh,
substitute.
Yes. So, so allulose is a sugar substitute that is actually chemically almost identical to sugar. A slight modification to the molecule means it tastes sweet to us, but and it cooks the same, but it's not metabolized by the body, and therefore it has 0 calories.
So basically, it's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Machaya.
A little too good to be true, but okay.
We are all gonna try this sugar, and he's gonna cook with it. And you're gonna tell us how the challah is, women. You want to say one more thing about
one consideration is it you need 30% more of this than volumetrically than normal sugar because it's slightly less sweet, but that's close enough.
Okay. Now I want to say that Ken is an amazing cook in our house, and I'm loving seeing all the men here. I think that baking is one of the most beautiful traditions and things you can do together as a family. And this today is the Jewish Federation's Festival of Philanthropy, which is so exciting. So those of you that are from that, welcome. Those are the bakers that have been with Ken and I and my family for a year of baking during the pandemic. You're going to hear a lot from incredible leaders. And to kick things off, sir, do you want to show a little couple-minute highlight video of the festival?
It's a super spot.
Oh, it's also too much fun. And it was Holocaust Remembrance Day. And it's a lot this week.
Okay, let me know if this is not working, but I think it is.
As we head into a new year, it is now more important than ever to discuss the topics and utilize the tools that will move our Jewish community forward.
We're still connected.
Time to say goodbye to 2020.
Groups that we share the same values with.
Experiencing on your own terms.
Connecting through Judaism.
You show up because this matters.
Do you feel a part of something?
A series of inspiring events leveraging the leadership of Bay Area community builders, philanthropists, rabbis, academics, and professionals. People just like us who are working to make our local communities safe, equitable, and resilient.
Bravo, that's such an inspiring video. And so today we're having, every time we do Zoom Holiday, we like to welcome in a new community. So this is a beautiful community, and to welcome officially, I get to invite two of my very dear friends, Tina and Lily. Can you raise your hand so Sawyer can find you?
Yes.
There's Tina. I see Tina. Lily, there's a lot of screens here to find Lily. Sorry, do you have Lily in Hawaii?
I'm getting her almost.
Nah, far away.
Where's Lily?
There we go.
She's here.
Okay, so everyone, before I officially introduce them, my favorite word, I have a lot of favorite words in Yiddish, but my favorite is a mashup between shalom and aloha, and it's shaloha, which I think is a fantastic word that everyone should use at least once today. So shaloha, Lily in Hawaii, and hello,
Aloha.
Tina, who's like a block away, who's my best friend. Do you two want to talk about, like, what were you thinking when you cooked up this crazy festival that's so beautiful? Tina.
Well, we really shout out to Laura because really Laura is fully responsible for corralling Lily and I to be the co-host of the Day of Philanthropy. And that was a couple of years ago when we made this commitment, not knowing that we would be doing this festival with sheltering in place and that this would be a year of a pandemic. So the first thing we moved, try and picture 700 Jews in like a hotel ballroom for lunch right now. It's not happening. And so we sat together with Laura and the extraordinary team at Federation, Rachel, Joy, Danny, the whole crew. And we said, we're not canceling anything. We're gonna go big or go home. Well, actually, stay home. And so we reinvented this into a festival of joy, a festival of learning, a festival of community, a festival of tradition, and a festival of connected tikkun olam, which is really what we all are here for.
Wonderful. And Lily, go ahead. Oh, you have your festival badge.
This is the festival badge. And so Lily, Lily's in Hawaii, I'm here in Mill Valley, but we are all connected. And thank you so much for being a part of it. It's been a joy to curate all of this.
Yes.
And so over to you, my bestie in Hawaii.
So Tina and I had many of Shabbat dinners before we moved off to Hawaii, and really thought about what are the most important things we need to do in this festival. And over many Shabbat dinners, we came up with a curated list of who we thought would be fantastic and how we wanted to balance the festival with every type of thing that is important and what's in the heart of our, what's at the forefront of what's going on right now. And the tradition of making challah every Shabbat is something near and dear to my heart. So thank you, Tiffany, and thank you, Sissy and Xander. And this is going to be a wonderful event.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. And actually, I haven't even introduced our special bakers, but that was awesome as a great entree for me. So I'm going to introduce three, and more than three because they're with some of their family. But I'm going to first introduce Sissy because literally she is like mishpacha to me. Oh, we need to go on mute on some of them, Sawyer. So Sissy, I have known Sissy for a very long time. And I think I would just say that she's the ultimate mensch. And, I've made a whole movie about the making of a mensch. And really, if you just talk to Sissy, that could have been the movie because she's such a mensch. And she has supported many of my films. And I'll never forget when I first met her, I went into her living room and I was like, I want to make a movie about American Jewish identity and the Barbie doll. And she looked at me without skipping a beat and she's like, I'm in. Now, that had never happened to me. And that film became The Tribe, which I know a lot of you have seen. We'll put it in the link. But Sissy is all in. Her whole soul is in to whatever she does. And I love you so much. She's like family to my family. The next, lots of kisses there. And today is about giving and philanthropy and being a leader. And I look up to Sissy so much as one of the most inspiring leaders I know. Next, I'm going to go to Laura Lauder. And do you want to introduce your daughter there? Off of mute. Oh, and Gary went to school with my husband, Ken. And I've known them for a long time and they're incredible leaders. And they've also hosted me when I do my fellowship in Aspen, and they are such inspiring leaders. I love whatever they're doing. And also Laura's an incredible cyclist, which, is just like a side brilliant thing of hers. And their whole family is going to bake with us. And her daughter is actually really the baker. So I'm so glad you're joining us. And then we have Alexander Lurie, who's a new friend, and I'm so happy to meet. And would you introduce your lovely co-baker?
My co-baker, Danielle, or maybe I'm her co-baker.
That's more like it. And both these three families in the Bay Area have done so much good. I mean, I just, like, I guess Mensch's and Machers, and you make so many things happen, and you're so much about family. And I think that that's just so beautiful, because making challah is a tradition. I'm glad some of you are baking challah for the first time. So I'm glad I can introduce this tradition to you. But, you know, I think that there's nothing more important than family. And I'm just going to recall my father, who's no longer with us, but that's all he used to always say. It's just nothing's more important than family. Like, anything came up, that was how he ended a sentence. And I think all three of your families exemplify that. And now we have the Zoom Challah Bake family, who has come together time after time to bake together when we were so scared and we were so worried about our country and the pandemic. And we're all together much stronger today. So with that, I am going to first ask everyone to pull out their first ingredient before we get into the discussion, because we will talk with our special guest bakers when the yeast is rising, because that gives us 20 minutes. So first, everyone, pull out your yeast. This is the kind that I use. We had Irving, the challah baker, in last time, and he has a different strategy, but this is what I use. Do you guys want to show us your yeast? And if you have any yeast questions, Roberta Monroe, or is Livy on yet from Italy? Do we have Livy from Italy yet? Sawyer, do you see her?
Not seen her.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. I was missing you. Wait.
I'll find.
Livy has been baking with us from Italy for like a year or something like that. How are you doing in Italy? How are things in Italy right now?
Messy, but because I don't think you follow in the US, but our government.
I saw that.
You saw that, yeah. But like nobody.
So wait a second. Wait, I want to make sure everyone puts their one packet of yeast here. So we have to hear that didn't your prime minister just step down from corruption?
Yeah, no, not from corruption. Nobody really understands why. But here's the catch. The guy, Matteo Renzi, who made the government fall, right after he made the government fall, he flew to MBS for a lecture he was paid for. So it's all very dodgy. He went to the Emirates to give a lecture right after he had the government fall. It's like nobody understands what is going on. We are just like...
we need hot water.
You know, Sawyer, can you mute everyone but Livy? And Livy, can I ask you, because, you know, obviously we had a huge moment in our country with we finally got a very corrupt man out of office. How is the world? Are you all happy for us? We're so happy. Are you happy for America?
Oh my God. It's like, it feels that the world is a better place already.
It's so great.
And
okay,
I mean,
wait 1 second. Everyone,
I want to point.
Wait 1 second.
I want to point out something actually.
Yeah.
That I didn't see it much covered in the press, but did you realize the girl power that was at Inauguration Day and the big network and chain of love among women? I've never witnessed that before in history. So we are very happy for you and for us.
Oh, Livy, I'm so glad you're with us. And everyone, I want you to get 1 cup of hot water now, because I also want to find out, Livy, how the pandemic is in Italy. But right now, 1 cup of hot water, and so I put my yeast in the bowl, my dry yeast, one packet, and Jenny's putting in the chat anything you need. And I'm about to put 1 cup of hot water. I do not measure it. I just say hot, not scalding, but hot on your faucet setting. So I'm going to go get my 1 cup of hot water. Everyone do the same. Okay, I got my 1 cup of hot water. I've got my yeast. I put in the bowl. I'm just putting my hot water in the bowl. Now, I'm also gonna stir it just a tad. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab 1/3 of a cup of sugar. Now, Laura, you guys are gonna use this crazy new sugar. I'm curious if it's gonna still work. But it's just plain, we're using 1/3 of a cup of sugar. I'm gonna put it in the bowl with the hot water and the yeast. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm putting that in. Oh, you know what I wanted to tell you guys is the day of the inauguration, since we were just talking about that, I made this little mashup 1-minute film that I'll send in the follow-up. But basically, you know that song by Nina Simone, I Feel Good? It's a new dawn, it's a new day. I kept thinking of that, so I edited that together with the inauguration for a minute, and I'll share that with you. That's the way I was feeling. It's a new dawn. We got a lot of women in power. First time our Congress, a lot of cabinet positions look like our country. Okay, does everyone have your yeast rising? Yeast, sugar, and hot water. Give me a thumbs up, and I'm gonna scroll through the 9 pages of Zoom screen. Woohoo, you guys all look beautiful. Look at those thumbs, I love it. Okay. So, Laura, you guys are all good? Sissy, you have it, and Alexander, they're still doing it. Okay, while they're doing theirs, I'm gonna tell you a little story to introduce this conversation. So, in my family, so there's Ken and I, we have a 17-year-old Odessa, and then we have an 11-year-old Bluma. And every Hanukkah, everybody that asks for donations of organizations I care about, whether it's Planned Parenthood, the Mill Valley Library, Holocaust Survivor Fund, whatever it is, I put all those in a folder, or the SPCA. You know, we are all getting those envelopes all throughout the year. And right around Hanukkah, we all have a donation meeting, and we open up the envelope and we go through them. And plus we have organizations that we've kind of given to every year, but it's a discussion. And, you know, we have a certain amount, and whether it's like $20 or $50 or $100, like our amounts are not huge, but it's such a beautiful meeting, because we really, in this meeting, everyone's involved, and we've been doing this their whole lives as a family tradition, to think about who we want to support, who's part of our community, whether it's the mountain play, and a lot of them are local, and then a lot are national, and then some are international. And then at the end of the meeting, we look at like how many, we give a lot to women's rights, but women's rights, the arts, animals, local organizations, Jewish organizations. But it's really interesting, because if you look at those headers of who we give to as a family, it speaks our values. It says what's important to us. So I would love to start with Sissy and just ask, like, does your family get together, or how do you come together to think about who you want to support, or if you do that? Because maybe that you don't, but I would love to hear just your thoughts around that.
Well, we do both and. I don't know, are we supposed to put the flour in now or later?
No, we're letting the yeast rise for 20 minutes. We have 20 minutes to schmooze and talk about giving.
So I mean, we have a family council that has shaped, because we now have everybody in the 4th generation is I guess they're all over 20, 25. And so we wanted them to learn about giving and to feel that they have a voice. And then the 3rd generation, they have their own way of giving, and it's very independent. And I'm the remaining person in the 2nd generation. And I try to include my kids in certain areas where I feel they have a strong interest. Otherwise, I do my own philanthropy.
Beautiful. And, you know, as a recipient to my films, you know, it's such a beautiful thing. I feel like I have such strong relationships with people that support my work and my films. And I feel like whenever it's a partnership, you know, I'm sure you feel that way with, I mean, Sissy was a huge supporter of Kamala. In fact, I remember one night you had an event for this is when she was the district attorney in San Francisco, one for one of my films and one for her, like 2 nights in a row. And I went to both. And I was just thinking that your home has hosted so many incredible events, but it is a partnership. Don't you feel like, how did you feel when you saw Kamala up there? Just, you've supported her since the beginning.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for so many reasons. Bottom line, Kamala has such values. She has such strong values. And I really appreciate that. And she was very, very close to her mother. She's close to her sister. And that just came from the very minute that we met, which is now a long time ago, that came forward.
I love that. She is so much about family. I mean, really what this is about, and I think what the Jewish Federation is about, is so much about like making this part of your family. And I thank you for bringing that up. I do feel that from her. And actually, you know, Darian threw a baby shower for me and she was there. And she is so much about family. She's always talking about her mother and sister. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful comment for those that just to know how, I mean, I think you feel that when you hear her give talks. And that's a great segue over to Laura and Eliana. How do you talk to us about the way you approach as a family giving or deciding what is important to give to, or how do you do that?
She's the pro.
I mean, that's just a flat out lie. She is like a professional philanthropist, is her profession. But I am the luckiest 23-year-old in the world because I get to learn from her about philanthropy. And she's the absolute guru. She's raised us since we were so little, thinking about philanthropy in our day-to-day lives. And honestly, thinking about philanthropy in not so different a way than my dad thinks about investing in businesses, and thinking about investing in nonprofits, and investing in cultural movements, and investing in change the way you would invest in a company, hoping for social and psychological return, and rather than financial return. And
maybe talk about your bat mitzvah and what you did.
Sure. So, I mean, I feel like this isn't that novel at this point. Kids are I feel like kids are really good people these days. But we asked for donations to a donor advised fund.
At the Federation.
At the Federation, instead of gifts, in lieu of gifts for our bar and bat mitzvahs at 13, which imagine wasn't a 13-year-old's idea. That was, and we were thrilled. We were so excited, and then we've been giving away that money ever since, and in a really thoughtful and meaningful way. And it was one of those things where we could have received gifts that would have been fun and exciting at 13, and that would have been great, but those gifts would probably be in some shelf in an attic now, whereas this has been a gift that has kept on giving and evolved with our interests and with our passions ever since, and with culture. And as the world has been focused on really important issues that we're facing as a human race right now, it's been wonderful to feel like we have our own money to give to it. It's not just taking part in the family philanthropy or taking part in giving away.
Well, it's such a beautiful, that's so beautiful. One daughter's about to get bat mitzvah, I'll be like, bring it up tonight. But our older daughter did a wonderful, my family's from Odessa and her name is Odessa, and we donated all these books. Her bat mitzvah project was like donating all these books to Odessa, an orphanage there. And one thing, when Sori and I were making this film, The Making of a Mensch, which is about Musar, which is a Jewish teaching that now people are starting to understand, but it's really all the Jewish ideas around being a good person and character in a body of work called Musar. And there was this incredible practice about generosity that any of us listening can do. And it talks about strengthening your generosity muscle. So there's actually, it's about like every day, give something, even if it's like $1, $5, $10, that every day give and see how good that feels. And that will strengthen your generosity muscle. And Maimonides, the Jewish philosopher, which we go into a lot in the film and in the supporting materials, had so many incredible ideas about giving. And it's Sawyer and I make a lot of films about your character, and what all of them say, if you want to feel more grateful, write about what you're grateful for, and you will feel more grateful. If you want to have more empathy, it's a learned skill. Do practices that find out people's stories, find out really how they're doing, ask them how they're doing, and really listen. And that all of these qualities of being a good person are really muscles that you can strengthen. And you can bring it into your life of like, I am going to give to 5 organizations that mean a lot to me, or I'm going to, learn more about this. And so I think it's so beautiful what you do in your family. I don't know, Laura, if you wanted to add anything to your eloquent daughter or that we talked about, or you can introduce Alexander, because I know you've known him a long time.
Let me do that because I'm so proud of Eliana and what Eliana is sort of lives her values. And when it comes to living your values, Eliana is working for a criminal justice reform nonprofit as her day job, which is extraordinary, and learning so much every day about the ways to make the world a better place, to do tikkun olam in her professional life. And I'm so proud of Eliana.
I'm proud of her too. Okay, so now you have the pleasure.
Let me introduce Xander. I mean, okay, if you were to want to create an exceptional leader in the Jewish community who is focused on all the right things with all the best values and really making the world a better place every day, you would create Xander Lurie. From a rabbinic family, and yet living those values as an individual who is not only hot, but also extremely capable in the real estate world. Xander epitomizes the best of the Jewish community. And we are so thrilled as a former Dink that Xander is the winner of the Dinkelspiel Award this year. Xander, you've earned every bit of it, and you make us all look good because you are what Dinkelspiel is all about. Xander Lurie.
Wow.
You're gonna make me cry, people.
So I got this delivered a few days ago. It is quite the piece. It's just beautiful. And Laura, that was just an incredible intro. My goodness. I did not pay Laura to say any of that. I wasn't prepared for it, and now I think I'm blushing. So, Tiffany, prompt me. I'll talk about anything. I don't.
I mean, I think what's so interesting about all 3 of you is you really, and it really wasn't in my family. My family, my grandfather was an immigrant, and his money was always kind of tight, and it wasn't a part of my growing up. Really, but all 3 of you are from families, and you must have just grown up in the matzo ball soup of it, of just that of giving. And I remember my dad used to quote someone about like giving. I don't know if this is appropriate to say, but I'm going to say it because why not? It's like manure. The more you spread it around, more things grow. And someone said that. Was it like Mae West said that about money? Money's like manure. The more you spread it around, the more things grow. And I can't believe I just said that, but it's okay. But was it like, how were you kind of, did your family have a ritual around it, or it was just always talked about? Or do you guys have like council meetings? Like I'm going to call my family meeting the council meeting because it sounds great.
So are we talking about like philanthropy and giving?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people on here that just might be giving individually, but I think your family, like, did you guys have family philanthropy meetings? Yeah.
So the first thing I'll say is I feel like our dad Brian, I say our because I've got 3 siblings, Sonia, Ari, and Daniel. And we're all in the Bay Area, which is amazing. And every Friday night, he calls to give us a blessing. It's been remote for a while because of the circumstances, but when we're all together, it's even better. And wherever we are in the world or wherever he is, he calls for that blessing. And I feel like that value of mishpocha, of families, that through theme that really connects us. And it connects back to something my late grandfather, my mom's dad, Alfred Fromm, really espoused, which he said, he wanted to incorporate in daily life the importance of learning, strong family bonds, and charity. And all 3 of those are inextricably linked, and they play a role. And so it's sort of hard to do one without the other. Like you need to have sort of all, like, each, the stool has to have all three legs, right?
I love that.
And,
Yeah.
and so I would just say that, for us, giving individually, giving as a collective, as a family, there's themes of that and continuity of that from generation to generation.
I love that. Okay, those were so beautiful. And I've been corrected. It was not Mae West. It was it Barbara Streisand and Hello Dolly? Did I get that wrong? Tina, help me out here. We'll put a little video clip of her saying that in the follow-up email. Somebody also said, Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. She said to pay people in the toll behind you. That's such a beautiful thing. You're at a coffee shop. You can buy coffee for the person behind you. There's so many simple gestures that you can do every day that kind of are beautiful, menschy, generous things to do. And then of course, if you have kids, just starting to talk about it and how do you bring that into your family conversation and tradition? Because it's so much about value. Sissy, did you want to add something there?
Oh, Tiffany, Emily, I said earlier, that our family has started a family council. Excuse my voice. And Emily Ehrlich, Marjorie's oldest child, initiated a Shabbat gathering. And we gather every Friday night and have a family Shabbat, which covers the Dinner family, the Swig family, the whole broad spectrum. And it's so charming because they come on, one of them lives in Florida, so we started at 5:30, and but they come on and they're so happy to see each other and to talk about what's happened during the week or just what's happened, and they show up every Friday night. Tonight we're going to have the same thing. Tonight we're going to be celebrating Adam Swig's birthday.
Oh, I love Adam Swig, by the way. That would be your grandson. I love him. Well, no, that's the beauty of the pandemic is that we have been able, even past, there's so many events, there's been a lot of bad things, but a lot of incredible things. It's just that why can't we light the candles with every member across the United States or globe together? Bloom is getting breakfast behind me. Don't mind her while I'm talking. Okay. So, but why can't we come together through technology and come together as a family? So that's such a beautiful tradition. We've been doing something like that too, although we do our tech Shabbat. So sometimes that will be the last thing we do is be online to see the family. And then all of our screens go off because that feels really important.
Light the candles, do the whole 9 yards. And
I love that.
And before we close, we ask everybody to, what's happened to you this week?
I love that.
So
now,
it's really beautiful.
I want to ask anyone just in the audience, is there anyone that wants to share a family tradition that you have around giving? Just any bakers, raise your hand and Sawyer will find you. If you feel courageous and you want to share a simple thing that you do with your family. Does any, did I just miss a hand, or is it you're just getting your coffee? Raise your hand is Jeremy smiling? Is that because you want to say something? So many of you, I'm looking for a hand. Any of my courageous friends who want to speak on camera? I'm looking for a hand. Oh my gosh, is this like shy crew today? Let's see, Tina. Oh, wait, I'm gonna go first. Tina, I'm gonna have you go off, and I want to, don't you have a talk coming up, because the Challah Bake is part of like 7 events that are happening, and isn't there one on kind of being a moral leader? Because this is kind of part of that too. Where'd you go, Tina? I've lost.
Here I am.
Got her on the spotlight.
Yeah. The festival is this is one of the great events of the festival because we're building all kinds of muscles. And so next week, if you haven't, and we'll put it in the chat, if you haven't signed up for the festival yet, all of the events are free and available to you, your family, your friends. Next Thursday, we are going to have Dr. Jennifer Acker and Naomi Bagdonis talking about their new approach to humor and how humor is going to get us through dark times. And so that's going to be incredible. It's going to be next Thursday, and we'll drop a link in. After that, I believe Danny, I'm just looking at my festival pass, is going to be talking to Jacqueline Novogratz, our dear friend, about moral leadership in these times. And we have just so much great programming coming up. And so we'll put all of that in. If you've missed any of the events, last week we sat down with Rabbi Lizak and the extraordinary community from Glide and Mayor Breed talking about truth, justice, and reconciliation. And all of those are available on demand. And we kicked off the festival a couple of weeks ago with Dr. Larry Brilliant and talking about sort of where we're going on this journey with vaccines.
Oh
and
yeah, I'm so glad you
all
brought
of this is available on demand. If you aren't able to attend live, we're putting up the links for you to attend, share them with your friends, and we'll be going all the way through March. So the
And
festival.
actually, thank you, Tina. Yeah, and when we do the follow-up email, we'll do descriptions as well. And now we're going back to the recipe. But speaking of Larry Brilliant, remind me, we're going to talk about Larry Brilliant for a second. But first, you are going to now put 2 cups of flour in. Well, first of all, did everyone's yeast rise? It should look kind of frothy. It looks frothy. I'm curious if the Lauder's is frothy because you got crazy sugar in there. Oy. You might need to put the real sugar in. Okay, I think you do. Okay, so everyone's is frothy, and now we're gonna put 2 cups of flour into the bowl. And okay, I'm putting that in. I love this part, the fluffy flour. Putting that in. Okay, and then I'm just mixing it up, mixing it in there. And okay, now in a separate bowl from Heath Local Ceramics, fabulous company in Sausalito. We'll put a link in. They have the best ceramics. You're gonna put 1 egg, separate bowl, 1 egg. Hey Gary, that fabulous new sugar might not make yeast rise. I was really curious about that actually. So separate bowl, we're putting the 1 egg, and you're gonna put 1/4 of a cup of canola oil.
1 egg and 1/4 of a cup of
1 egg. Here's the egg.
in a separate bowl.
Separate bowl.
Okay, separate bowl, canola, 1/4 of a cup into my egg. And then I'm going to mix it, the egg and the oil. And a separate fork for that. So I'm mixing that in. So it looks like an eggy, oily thing. Let me know when you guys have done that. Thumbs up on that.
How much oil is it?
1/4 of a cup of canola oil and the egg. And Jenny, there's some questions in the chat on the recipe. She will answer. Mixing that in. Then my new mixture of canola oil and egg, I am pouring it into my flour bowl. Let me know when you've done that. And then it looks a little bit not as like, you mix that together and it starts to look like that. Give me a thumbs up if that is good. Everyone's with me? Okay. Putting that in. I'm really wanting to make babka on one of these. So if anyone's got a good babka recipe, I want to try that next time. Okay. So now we have a mixture of flour, sugar, yeast, and then that canola oil and egg, and it's all mixed together. People give me a thumbs up on it being mixed together. Oh yeah, people in the chat are saying alternatives. Now I'm gonna put my remaining 1.5 cups of flour into the big bowl. So now you put the rest of your flour into the bowl, 1.5 cups. And I'm stirring it together. And I'm about to put it on my counter to knead. Does anyone have, are people feeling good? Because when we start kneading, it's very hard to put your hands on the keyboard. But are people feeling good? You want to give me a thumbs up if you're feeling good so far with the recipe? If you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat. Okay, this is my favorite part of the week because I love putting my hands in challah dough. It's just like, it's the best feeling ever. So now, sorry, you want to spot, oh, there's Sissy. Hi, Sissy, how's your challah going? Is it good? You got things in? Oh, I think you're muted, but I think you're good. We'll unmute you. So I am about to take off my rings because when you're doing challah, you don't want to be wearing rings when you're doing your dough. Okay. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little flour onto the surface. And I'm going to take my dough. I know Lily's a big challah baker. Are you following my recipe list, Lily, or are you doing your own?
I am doing Howard Zach's. No offense, but I've been cooking that recipe for at least a decade. And
I hear it. Listen, if you make your own recipe, I totally get it. Okay. So everyone, you're going to start kneading, and one of my daughters will come down because they have such great kneading techniques. But you use the heel of your hand and you kind of roll it. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit, and I'm going to talk to you about Dr. Larry Brilliant, who was just speaking. You should watch his talk. In the follow-up email, we'll put the link. But he was friends with my dad. They were both doctors together. He's amazing. And he was talking about variants of vaccines, which I know we're all curious about, but don't worry too much because we should celebrate our wins that we have a vaccine right now and a new administration. But here's the important thing I want to tell all of you that most people don't realize is you need to register for a vaccine. Even if you're not in the age group right now, or you're not a healthcare worker or a teacher, just go to it. I know a lot of you are from all over the country and the world, but just search in the Google, register for vaccine, and then put your county. And you will have a simple government form come up. And you should do that because you want to have your name on the list. And we will remind you of that. Registered. Oh, awesome, Roberta. What's LA like? Roberta, LA seems like is it still so intense? Where are you? My sister's in LA and she's like, it's very intense there. Is it still?
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, I was I was on mute and talking. Yeah, it's
Are you guys still
very hectic? And it's like, I think that even, I think there's the other week I said, you've made it, 9 months without getting infected. And so I'm kind of doubling down a little bit on the isolation and having things delivered. And
yeah, I'm feeling that too. It's like, don't get it right now. Like we're at the final 10-yard line.
Now is not the time to get it. And I think too that it's those doubling down on those things. That means you're also doubling down on the loneliness and the, claustrophobia and the panic, that feeling of just, and sometimes it just feels like it's an all-day panic attack in a way that.
That's such a great way to feel, or like, I feel like, and I know this, I feel like it's hard to breathe. Like, I'm just like, can't get enough gulps in because you think you're living a normal life and then you're like, oh my gosh, I need to see people, or I need to get out of my space. Or that's what I realized the other day is even if I'm going for a drive, that counts.
Yes.
Change your scenery.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I think, you're feeling that feeling when you're in the store. When I'm in the store, I feel like, whoa, I think I'm going to kill somebody if I don't take this mask off. Like that claustrophobia.
Okay,
like,
speaking of a mask, you guys, I kind of feel like when people are wearing like a white mask and then a dark mask, it looks like you're showing your underwear. But double masking when you're in a grocery store is a smart thing to do. When you're around a lot of people, double mask. It's so simple. Just put the surgical mask, which you can order off of Amazon, and then just put the cute mask over it. But the surgical mask, this was the article in the New York Times a couple weeks ago. It's like, we're not wearing good masks. Like we're 9 months into the pandemic and people are wearing cloth masks. And those are not the best masks. Those were supposed to be a temporary situation until more people had surgical masks. So everyone, we're gonna put in the chat, and so I went to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned and she gave me, what a mensch, a box of their dentist masks And I'm going to see if I can get them, but it's called level 3. And I was like, there's different levels of surgical. Like, I didn't even know. So I'm going to search after the call and see if I can find them. But and all of you that maybe you don't know, but I've been doing a newsletter the whole pandemic. My brother, Dr. Jordan Shlain, which I know a lot of you get my newsletter, he does pandemic updates. He's been doing them the whole pandemic. And he has a lot of interesting thoughts about risk levels of things. And he's so happy about the new administration. I mean, we cannot underscore this enough that we have a federal plan right now. We have never had a federal plan. And that was so mashugana. And that we really have a plan right now that is going to be so much better. So again, actually, Jenny, I know a lot of people are needing challah, but all of these things we're talking about, you don't need to worry about writing them down because we're going to send them to you. Your challah should start to look like this. Does everyone want to hold up your challah? Actually, I'm going to go to gallery view. This is one of my favorite shots. Is everyone hold up your challah? How's it looking? Is it buoyant? Ooh, it's looking good. I can see fluffy challahs. Show me your challah. I'm scrolling through. Beautiful challahs. So I had to tell you this new word that I thought of. How many times in the pandemic had you thought you were on mute, but you weren't, and you said something embarrassing? Yes. So the word is not FOMO, it's FOMO. And that's the fear of the mute button not being on. That is the new word of the day. We had a very embarrassing thing happen. I'm not even going to tell you what was said because it was so horrible. But if anyone wants to share the most embarrassing thing they've had happen, you're welcome to. Does anyone have questions about your kneading or your challah, which should be looking like this? I'm going to go to my guest bakers and find out how their challah. Let's see. I'm going back to speaker view. First, Sissy, how is your challah looking? I know you're on mute still. I know there should be like a remote mute button. Oh, it's not. Okay, I'll go to Laura while you figure that out. Laura, how is your challah doing? Ooh. So did it go off mute? Because I think you're still on mute, but I want to hear what happened with your, oh, good. Oh, now you're on mute again. What happened with the fake sugar?
So we're now making 2 challahs. We're making one with the Gary sugar and then one with normal sugar. So we're in the 20-minute timer.
Okay. Okay.
But the other thing that we added, just so you know, is we added cinnamon.
Oh,
and
nice.
Cinnamon really adds to it. And then of course, my favorite food in the whole wide world is raisins.
Ooh.
And so we will be adding golden raisins as well.
Oh, that sounds so yummy.
Every week is
Alexander,
like Rosh Hashanah for us.
Oh, every week is like Rosh Hashanah. Well, sometimes we make a sweet and a savory because I like to put the everything from the everything bagel on mine, so it's like sweet with savory.
Ooh.
But sometimes
Nice.
my daughters will do white chocolate and milk chocolate and put it into the braids, and it's insanely good.
Wow.
How do you knead?
Wow.
Okay, Alexander, where are you? Let's see where you guys
I'm right
are.
here.
Okay, talk to us about your challah.
I'm working on it.
It just looks like it.
How's it looking?
It's okay. My baby.
It looks good. It looks good.
We're making 2 actually. So Danielle and I, we thought we'd double it up. So
Now the truth is that the more you knead, the better. So maybe, sir, maybe you guys want to see a new movie that we just made, that we just released? It's 4 minutes. We are going to, while we're finishing the kneading, we're almost at the end here. This was a movie that was just released, and here it is.
All right. Oh,
As we head in.
sorry. Give me one more minute. That was odd.
Okay, so this film was released on January 1. It has some people you know in it. There we go.
Now are we seeing the right thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good morning.
Happy New Year. I'm Tiffany Shlain, and welcome to 2021. That was quite a year, all of it. It was super hard. And I know you're probably like me, we're ready for the new year. But times of our greatest struggle are when we learn the most. So what did we learn in 2020?
What I learned in 2020 is what I will call the Torah of Garth Brooks. That everything that is a blessing has a curse. Or maybe you said everything that has a curse is a blessing.
One of the big things I learned in 2020 was just how much work there still needs to be done in order to create a more just, equitable country.
I think what I learned from 2020 is how many things that I felt were necessary that I've learned to live without.
Just taking a step back and reevaluating your priorities.
Being very disciplined about gratitude, about telling people the way that I feel about them. I do a lot of calling friends, telling them that I love them, which I think freaks them out.
First thing I learned is that your best friend really can be a dog, because my bulldog, Jackie, my family's bulldog, like literally is my best friend in the world, and I didn't know that was quite possible.
This year taught me that I'm more of an introvert than I realized. Being in bed at 9:30 on a Friday night watching the Great British Bake Off and not feeling like I'm missing anything was a really enjoyable feeling.
I think that's maybe one of the kind of gifts in disguise of the 2020 mess that we've had, is this idea of pause.
So I've been thinking a lot about how do we make sure that we bring the best of what we learned into 2021? You know, sometimes that's about ritual. I know for me, my family and I, after the last decade, we turn off all screens from Friday night to Saturday night for what we call our tech Shabbats. And it's really about carving out that one day a week of Shabbat for a day of rest. And I know that people's pauses look very differently. It's different for everyone, but what do you hope to bring into 2021?
I do love the concept of taking a break and kind of shutting off the rest of the world. I see as really restorative for my own well-being and my own mental health.
One thing I know for sure is that when you take the moment to pause and reflect and refresh, decompress, that serves you for days. Taking 1 hour even can just charge you for a week.
Having a period of time where I'm not always asking what's next, what's happening now, what's happening in this moment, but I can take a step back and think in broader terms about the arc of history and the themes of what's happening and reach insights that I might not get if I'm just glued to Twitter all day. That allows me to do some of my best storytelling and I think most valuable work.
I hope people don't want to go back to where we were. I feel like that's over. I hope what we've done is cleared our vision and cleared our greed and cleared our moved into a much more truthful place with ourselves and the world, so that we come out of this understanding that we are completely interconnected with everyone and everything, and that our welfare depends on each other, and we have to act accordingly.
So let's inhale 2021, exhale 2020. I hope 2021 brings us closer to each other and to ourselves and to something greater than ourselves. Shabbat Shalom. So that was sorry, that was in collaboration with I'm stuck to my dog. Oh, there's my dog. That was in collaboration with One Table. Wait, no, Rosie, don't lick that. Oh my gosh. Rosie, don't eat the hollow. Oh my God. Rosie took a bite of the hollow. You can have that now. Okay. Isn't there like a Jew? Do we have a rabbi on here? Isn't there like a thing where you tear off the corner of the? Is Sydney? She was gonna zoom in from Costa Rica. There's something in like you're supposed to like take a corner. Joy, do you know about that? What is it? You take a corner of the challah Anyway.
Yeah, you take a corner of the challah and you take it off because we're never quite full until we're all in Jerusalem, and it's a little something for someone else, just to remind us.
Or you're never quite full until your dog takes a bite of the challah. Actually, Joy, show us your challah. We're almost at the end here, but show us your
my
challah.
daughter Alexandra. She's been kneading it. She's been doing it.
Hi, Alexandra.
We can't wait.
That's a great new expression. Is there a rabbi in the Zoom?
There's a rabbi in the Zoom. That's pretty good. And Joy, tell us what you do at the Federation. We're almost at the end here, and I want to make sure everyone knows. Oh, Rosie,
There is a rabbi.
Oh, there's the rabbi.
Do we have a rabbi? Do we have a rabbi in the house in the Zoom?
Zoom.
Yeah, Alexander.
You have a rabbinical student.
Wait, who's the rabbi here?
He's not just any rabbi. That's Brian Lurie.
Wait, where are you, Brian?
Alexander's father.
Wait, where are you? Okay, I'm trying to find you.
He's spotlit.
He's spotlit. Okay, tell us about the corner of the challah. Oh, I don't see him spotlit, sorry. Wait.
There's nothing perfect. And that's the whole idea in Judaism. You know, it's like the most beautiful place. You let something in, let's say in a synagogue, in a day school, you let the cornerstone not be perfect because it's an acknowledgement in the world itself. There is no such thing as perfection. We all have cracks. We all have problems. We all have a reality to face. So that's the challah.
Brian, that's beautiful. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. that was like central casting that I needed someone rabbinical, and there you are. Thank you.
I'm here because Alexander is here, so and Danielle. So here I am.
Here you are. It's good when the whole mishpach is in the house. Okay, so everyone, your challah should be so nice and kneaded. Does it feel like buoyant and round and fabulous? Awesome. And okay. Are your hands clean now? Because my hands are pretty clean from the challah. Yeah. Now I want you to put this beautiful round love. My family, my girls and I, if they were here and not on Zoom, we sing a song how we push all our love into it. And I believe you're pushing your love into it. So you have this beautiful ball of love, and you're gonna grab, I use another bowl. I'm gonna grab another bowl. And I'm gonna put a little canola oil in the bowl beforehand so you can lift up your ball of love. Put it in the bowl, put it in there. Then clean your hands. You're gonna get some saran wrap to put on top. Or you're gonna put, you can put a damp towel or saran wrap. At this point, your hands should be clean. I put this on top here. I wipe my hands off. Jenny is gonna put in the chat. I know we talked about a lot of things, and we do this great follow-up email, which those of you that came in through the Festival of Philanthropy, you're probably not gonna get it unless you sign up. So Jenny's gonna put a link in the chat right now. If you wanna get that email with all the things we discussed, movies, links, registration to vaccination, links to more of the Federation events and lots of good things. And we have our next Zoom Holiday will be March 5th. And it is going to be part of the National Day of Unplugging, which is an amazing event that I did 11 years ago. I turned off all screens for Shabbat, and I never stopped with my family, and it changed my life. And I ended up writing a book 24/6 about it. And if you've never tried to turn off all screens for Shabbat, it's simply the best thing you can do. And you can do it with people from all over the world on March 5th, and we're going to be baking again, and we always have fun. We'd love to see you back. And Susie, do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share? I always love hearing whatever you have to say.
Well, this has been a wonderful, wonderful morning. I feel very grateful. It's a lovely way to start the Shabbat. And I really appreciate the discussion. I think I think you have done so much to encourage people to enjoy their religion, their gratitude. You live Tikkun Olam, and you share it with everybody. And I join you in that sharing. And I just appreciate you so much, Tiffany.
Oh, I love you, Sissy. I love you, and I really, and I want to thank you and Laura. And is your daughter peeking behind you? Oh, there you are. Hi, and Alexander and Danielle. I loved having you all on. It was such a beautiful. Do you want to say any closing thoughts as we're wrapping up here?
We just want to say a special thank you to Tiffany. Tiffany, you are a rock star. Oh my God, not just an amazing film producer, but also you know how to do community. You just do community. You do connection. You're just amazing. And Tina and Lily, what an incredible festival of philanthropy. It's fantastic. This is everything we dreamed of. You guys have just done an amazing job, and we're so grateful.
Oh, thank you. And Alexander, any closing thoughts?
A shout out to everyone who organized today. Tiffany, thanks to you and your whole team. Obviously to the Federation, to Danny and the whole team. This is incredible. Joy, awesome to see you. And Dad, thanks for tuning in, and you guys. And it's really nice to be in community today. So thanks so much.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I want to thank my team, Sawyer Steele from Maine. We have been making movies together for over 15 years. Jenny Trigg from Michigan. She's the editor of my book, an amazing writer. She'll be writing that email. And wait, Rachel, where are you, Rachel? Rachel, who's been behind the scenes organizing so much of this. Where are you, Rachel?
I'm here.
Oh, we want to thank you. Look at, you've been doing all this technological magic work. And then Tina and Lily, I love you both. Lily, we can't wait to have you back. But please say Shaloha. And Tina and I did a very funny book talk. Was that last weekend, Tina?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, she interviewed me about my book 24. We were doing like a book talk for the female quotient. And the first thing she said to me, we started laughing and we couldn't recover. And we might put that in the follow-up email because we did recover after like 5 or 10 minutes, but it was, you know, like those bloopers where people start laughing and they really cannot get a hold of themselves. That was us. We had a good time though, right, Tina? And then it went to a good discussion.
That the Zoom chat, which I was tracking, kept telling me to tell more jokes because they didn't want you to stop laughing, because when you started snorting and chortling and Ken had to check on you to make sure you were breathing in front of the entire audience, all the chat said was, tell another one, keep making her laugh. And luckily we've had so much joy and laughter together. And so that's actually a perfect preview for next week's chat, which we didn't even plan, around how humor can really get us through dark times. And humor, as Lily always quotes, you know, comedy is just tragedy plus time. And so this has been wonderful, laughing with your friends, sharing with your friends. And this extended community just is unlocking incredible joy.
Oh, beautifully said. And I couldn't have said it better. The one I wanted to give one other. Oh, Lily, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to do a shout out for Jen Ocker's humor event next week. It promises to be amazing. She was on Good Morning America this past week about her new book, and she really talks about the science of laughter and how important it is to our health. And that is next Thursday's event on February 4th. So we're super excited to have Jennifer talking about her new book. So I hope you join. And Tiffany, this was absolutely beautiful today. I loved every minute. So thank you all for doing it.
Oh, and so much love in the room. And you know, I forgot, my friend Romy from Berlin is on. You know, there's people from different countries, and I want to say hi to you. And the register for the humor event, great. And while your hands are clean, Jenny, you want to put the link in one more time for the follow-up newsletter of everything we discussed and all the movies, and Tina's in my book talk, which was hilarious. Jenny's going to put that in the chat. And I think, you know what? We've had already in 2021, it's been a long year already, but it's on a much better trajectory. And I'm so glad that you're all here. Let's see, do we have all the links we need, Jenny? Do you have that in, sir? You want to plop that in? And I am going to tell, and so can somebody just say there's 3 more events coming up? There's the humor event, there's the Jacqueline and Novogratz event,
There are 4 more events coming up. This is Joy, and you're welcome to join any of them. Tina mentioned they're on our website. The link that Rachel put in the chat will take you to all of them. Jacqueline Novogratz will be joining us. We have another session with Mark Dollinger, Paula Pretlauer, Alana Cohen, and others in our community to talk about race and philanthropy, racial justice. So lots of great stuff. And our main event is on March 10th with Judith Rodin, who former president of Rockefeller Philanthropies, all to talk about just philanthropy. So this is a great opportunity for me to thank you, Tiffany, for kicking off this conversation on family philanthropy and investing with social consciousness. Eliana, it was great to meet you. We have a picture of you on our fridge right behind us. So my daughter says, I know her. And to thank our, Tiffany, really for you to lead this conversation, our guest bakers, Laura, Sissy, and Alexander, congratulations on the award. You truly deserve it. And we are so happy and proud to have you as a member of our board and in the leadership. And happy birthday, Laura Lauder. Her birthday was earlier this week, so I hope everybody wishes her a happy birthday also on your way out. And just to everyone for joining us, thank you. I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Joy. And you know, the one thing I'm gonna say is everybody loves to see challah on social media, and we wanna see all of your challahs, how they turned out. So when you're done baking, snap a shot. And I know Sissy's probably on TikTok, so you can post it there. But everyone else, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, wherever your social poison is preferred, you want to do the hashtag Zoom Challah Bake. Zoom Challah Bake, we're putting that in. Tag me, tag the Federation. Make sure Sawyer just put the link in for the sign up for our newsletter. And then we'll also have the social links, and I know that Rachel will put those in also. So tag us, and then we will all amplify all of the images of challah around the globe and the universe. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We'll let you know how the allulose challah turns out.
Yeah, tell us how that tastes. I'm so curious. Yeah, when you post
we'll
it,
do a taste test. We'll try both.
The fake sugar that's healthier for you was actually not so bad. Let us know, or it didn't rise. Let us know either way. Everyone be sure to post. Shabbat Shalom.
Remember, before you hop out of the Zoom, copy all the links.
What?
Copy all the links before you close your Zoom.
No, don't worry about that, because we're gonna sign up for the newsletter. We send you a gorgeous with lots of images in it. It's we just find that here, I'm gonna put it in one more time. Be sure you sign up here, and you're gonna get a gorgeous email that are really very much part of our challah bakes, because it's like a love sandwich. We send a newsletter ahead of time. We have a fun Zoom, and then at the end, you see images from this challah bake and links to films and all the events of the Federation. Will be super fun.
I love it.
Okay, and be sure to post. We want to see all your challahs. Oh, hi, Melissa. I didn't see you before. There's so many people here. I didn't get to say hi to everyone. I'm gonna just be staying on. Maybe, sir, you want to put our music on for a little dance off? Have a little fiddler on the roof, and I'm just here and I'm waiting for you all to go. It's like not an Irish goodbye, it's a Jewish goodbye. So like I'm on until the end while you're all zooming. Oh, hi Patty, my neighbor's here.
Hi everyone.
Bye, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, you bake it. We'll give you the recipe on how to bake it in the follow-up. Somebody's like, how do we bake it? It rises all day. We'll send you a follow-up email with all that information of the next step. That was a really good question.
Tiffany, some people are asking, don't know how to click on the link, and they're putting their email in the chat. So we should just grab those.
Okay, Sawyer, you want to do that?
Yep.
So basically, in the follow-up email, it'll also tell you, but you're going to let that rise for like 4 or 5 hours, and then you're going to knead it. And we walk you through all that with little videos on what you need to do. And then you put it in the oven, and I use the everything topping from Trader Joe's or Wise Sons Deli on the top. And so you can have a savory or a sweet challah. We'll put that all in there. Okay, everyone's.
If anybody else wants to just pop your email in the chat, I'll grab it and get you.
Yeah, that might be better. There's still 62 of us here. No one wants to go, which is very sweet. Yeah, pop your email in.
I'm going to stay for lunch.
Thank you all.
What is for lunch, by the way? What are we serving?
Yeah, what are you making there, Sissy?
You know, we had this opportunity. I lost it.
Okay, everyone's putting their emails in. That's a good way to do it.
I would
So
love to hang out, but I gotta jump. Shabbat Shalom. And it was
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye, guys.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye-bye.
La 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 la. Oh, good. Alexander's dancing with me. Good. La 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 la. Tradition. My favorite song. Whenever we're cooking for Shabbat, we put on Fiddler on the Roof. It's so Jewish. I know, but we love it. It's such a good soundtrack to cook Shabbat dinner to.
Well, actually, on the spirit of that, if you haven't seen the documentary Miracle of Miracles,
it's
it's
Oh,
amazing.
let's put that in the
And we
replay.
have it at PBS. So, shout out to PBS. We have that documentary, and so we'll get you a link to it, but it's absolutely fabulous.
Oh my God, totally. Jenny, let's put that link in the follow-up. I loved that movie. Oh, because it's plays, do you know every day Fiddler on the Roof is playing somewhere in the world? Like Korea, it's huge in Asia. Go figure.
Used in Japan, huge for racial justice. And it's an immigrant story, right? It's the classic immigrant story. So that movie was fantastic.
We'll put that in. And you know what my daughter taught me? So you know how this week everyone's like, it's Holocaust Remembrance Day? And I was like, I thought that was in April. And so what Odessa taught me, my daughter, is that there's the Holocaust Remembrance Day that was from the United Nations, that for when Auschwitz was liberated. But the Jews celebrate the Warsaw Uprising. And I thought that was so poignant. So we celebrated in April, and then the other day is when we were saved versus when we were strong. Anyways, I thought that was an interesting little Jewish factoid, throwing that out there. Did anyone else get thrown off by like Holocaust Remembrance Day? Like you thought it was in the spring? Anyone? That was me. I was like,
I totally learned that just this week. It was like, how come, what am I missing here?
I know, I'm a bad Jew. I don't know that it is, but I thought it was in the spring. I know. Totally. Yeah. It's interesting.
So, Tiffany, I'm going to say goodbye. Shabbat Shalom. Text me later. Maybe we'll do a dog walk. I love you. Thank you, Rachel, Joy, Rachel, Lily, Laura, Danny, all the behind the scenes, Xander, like the whole spiel. Sawyer, I hope all is well in Maine. Sending you so much love and probably lots of snow out there. So send pics, and thank you for doing this. You're amazing.
Great. And I'm seeing so many beautiful email addresses for the newsletter. We'll get those in. Sorry, a lot of people are DMing me. I don't know how you capture all that too.
I got them all to
Yeah. Okay, and we'll work on this newsletter and send it. It usually comes out in like 2 hours, but your challah should just be rising until then. I love that so many of you staying with me.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording. It means it's officially over. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.